To Merritt Street Media. Tonight on Dr. Phil Primetime.
The roads were cut off. The message we got, she said, life or death situation, and we jumped into action.
The baby's skin color was blue. We threw that baby in the helicopter as fast as we could.
It looked like something from a movie. They just took over and they said, we're here, we got you.
If you guys hadn't done what you did, that baby wouldn't be alive today. Thank you so much. Tonight, we are talking about a special kind of strength, the kind that emerges in the face of devastation. When hurricanes Milton and Helene ripped through communities, lives were forever changed. But amidst the chaos and destruction, ordinary people rose to the challenge, becoming heroes in the truest sense. From rescuing neighbors trapped in floodwaters to organizing relief efforts when everything seemed lost. These unsung heroes didn't wait for recognition. They acted with heart, courage, and compassion. And tonight, we honor their stories and their unwavering spirit. People like Sue. His team was on the ground and in the air, saving nearly a dozen lives and assisting hundreds in the hurricane aftermath.
Aerial Recovery was founded in 2021. We do search and rescue initially, and then after that, we move into disaster relief and recovery. We got up into North Carolina, and we saw the amount of devastation and destruction up here. We knew we were in the right place because I hadn't seen anything like this doing disaster response in the United States.
They found two gentlemen stuck in their vehicle saying that they needed some help.
We're still trying to find people out in the mountains, still trying to rescue and give people supplies that they absolutely need. We train 100 veterans a year of the military and first responder community to help after natural and man-made disasters, as well as to combat human trafficking. And I found when I'm on purpose and I'm out serving my fellow brothers and sisters under God, that's what lifts me up. And I am not the only one. So our program is designed to also heal the rescuers first. There's no greater feeling to be able to help those in their greatest time of need. We're helping them, but to be honest, it's also helping me.
Wow. Well, Jeremy, first, thank you for what you do, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You say you take 100 vets from the military and first responders per year and put them through a year-long program.
Yes, sir. So we have an initiative we call our Heal the Heroes program. These are guys and gals that are struggling with a lack of purpose. They're struggling with depression, suicidal thoughts, ideations, anxiety, all these things that I myself have gone through, and especially in 2020 when I was separating from the military. And what we found is in this service of others, that's really where you do start to find some healing and some purpose. And we're trying to make them understand that we are assets, not victims, and we have the expertise and the skill set to go to these dangerous situations and help people in their greatest time of need.
That seems so spot on. I've been in this for almost 50 years now, and one thing I've learned is that if you've got a hole in your heart, if you've got a hole in your soul, the fastest way to fill that up is to give away what you need the most. You're taking these people that seem to have lost their meaning, lost their purpose, and giving it back to them.
Absolutely. It brings out the best in them. It brings out the best in society and everybody they touch, just to be able to be back on mission. And now it's not just a mission that was assigned to you. Now we get to follow where God's taking us, and we can help individuals out, which is so fulfilling for veterans and first responders.
It's the difference between working with passion versus just being assigned something, because the efficiency and purpose with which you guys work versus what we're seeing with government on the ground, it's just daylight and dark, is it not? I mean, let's just be honest.
Yeah, it is. And we can rapidly deploy, and we're adaptable, and we can get into these areas in those 4, 8, 12 hours, those critical timings to help people. We don't have to wait for Title 10 orders or any of that stuff.
Yeah, well, one of the first questions I got asked when I came in with a plane load of stuff, they said, there are roadblocks all over the place. What are you going to do about that? And I said, well, I'm just going to fly over them.
I'm going to recruit you, Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
You got the right mentality for the team.
Coming up, meet the members of Jeremy's team who flew into action when a baby boy's life literally hung in the balance. Next.
One of our helicopters at Aerial Recovery got word of this baby, this mother and grandmother needed to get out, and this baby was in a life-threatening, critical situation. When they got there, that baby was in a bad way. They were able to fly it straight to a hospital, and it got the treatment that it needed to get. That one mission right there makes everything completely worth it.
Jeremy is the co-founder of the disaster response group Aerial Recovery. Now, he is joined by Charlie and Jonathan, who were instrumental in the group's mission to save what turned out to be a newborn baby. When you're dealing with a baby under these conditions, it gets pretty scary, right?
Absolutely.
They were isolated, nobody could get to them.
Right, the roads were cut off, they were stuck. And the message we got actually said life or death situation, and we jumped into action.
Yeah, and I think what some of the people didn't realize about the terrain out there, these communities were cut off. You couldn't get to them by road or rail. There was no way to get to these people, right?
Correct. Actually, when we looked at our updated maps, it said all the roads to that town of Alexander were completely washed out and away. And in addition to being with Aerial Recovery, I'm with the Florida State Guard Special Missions Unit. So we actually put out to our team, hey, do we have a paramedic, a PJ nearby? And it just so happened to be we actually had one right there in that same town. And he was able to get to that baby within a few minutes. And when he actually got to that baby, he said the baby's skin color was blue. So it was getting ready to go away pretty soon. And then once they got the oxygen on it, able to stabilize that, Charlie was doing a lot of coordination with the grandma. As our helicopter was coming in, owner of the aircraft right over here is Zeb, and our pilot, Mark Roseman, they put it down. I was actually coordinating with an awesome kid named Tristan, who was 13 years old at the airport. His dad was the airport manager. And I was like, hey, I need to hot refuel this helicopter, meaning the engines are running. I don't want to shut it down. Like, we have to go. And he was like, well, it's not really policy that we can do that. I was like, we have to do it. And he was like, what's the situation? So I was like, this baby's going to die if we don't do it. And he was just like, done. And he just backed up that fuel truck next to the helicopter, rotors going, refueled it. We got in the helicopter, me and Charlie, took off over there. He was coordinating with the hospital. We land there. They ran the baby up to the helicopter. We threw that baby in the helicopter as fast as we could. We had about a 7-minute flight to Mission Hospital in Nashville. And the pilot wanted to land on the ground, but there was nowhere to put it. And there was a rooftop landing pad. He was like, never landed on a roof before. He had a direct crosswind on top of that building that was pretty strong, and it was raining. But he just dropped it down. Me and Charlie hopped out. We rushed that baby, the grandma and the mom inside. I think there was about 2 doctors and 3 nurses in there waiting for us. And then once they took that baby and basically saved it, it was just like the biggest relief. And just, I don't know, it's hard to describe the emotions on that, but.
There were a lot of God moments that came in to lead us up to that moment. It was just an incredible sequence of events.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about people. If you're not there, you can't imagine. You go 100 miles laterally and everything's normal. People are driving around, going to Sonic, getting a cheeseburger or something. And we landed in some of these places and people hadn't seen or talked to anybody outside for like 9 days. They were out of water, they were out of food, and they had no communication. So I contacted Elon Musk and SpaceX and said, we need 500 Starlinks. He said, no problem, I'll have them in Carolina for you. And we picked them up and started taking them out, and you'd have people, all of a sudden they were in communication within like 2 or 3 minutes. And some of them had to be medevaced and different things. So it's crazy that happens in America. But it does. And that if you guys hadn't done what you did, that baby wouldn't be alive today. Did you have local officials, police, trying to prevent y'all from helping?
Oh, yeah. And we just want to be a blessing. But when you're trying to bless somebody in the name of helping people that are in need, and you just run into wall after wall after wall, it gets to be very frustrating on the nonprofit side, especially when we've submitted our paperwork, because there is a process. We've submitted all of that stuff, and then, we're spending time getting kicked out of an area, then contacting people we know for them to call so we can get re-access. And that's 2 hours of time that's spent just trying to stay on the ground to help. And it's 2 hours that people in need don't have.
Yeah, it's like we're your government and we're here to help you.
They were trying to power grab. They were asking me for my orders, my authorization to be there.
Yeah,
Nonsense
I was
stuff like
being
that.
very sarcastic. Coming up, there's one regret these heroes had about rushing off after airlifting Mason to the hospital. But first, a mobile medic who travels. Well, we're joined tonight by hurricane heroes Jeremy, Charlie, and Jonathan, who all played a role in the helicopter rescue of an 11-day-old baby, Mason, and his family. And Jonathan says he regrets not getting their contact information because he wished they could at least follow up with them. I had the luxury of following up with Sue, who, you know, because I got her a Starlink so I could get back in touch with her, and it's great to follow up. But I wanted to help you guys get connected. I want you to have contact information so you can see what happens with this baby.
Thank you so much.
And even actually a little further than that, because Mason's grandma is actually here. Lisa, come on out.
Thank you.
How are you? So good to see you. Why don't I put you right here? So catch us up. How are things?
Things are going very well.
Yeah?
Mason is thriving. He was blue. By the time they got there, he was completely blue. And he's everything. My kids are everything, but now that I have him, they can push aside because Mason's here and he's wonderful.
Yeah. And Mason had only been home, what, 4 days before the hurricane hit?
Yes. He was emergency C-section. They were concerned about his left lung, so they asked us to stay longer and make sure we were in town for Thursday. So we stayed, and that's Wednesday night is when everything happened. And it had been the fourth day where my sister and I had noticed that Mason wasn't getting enough oxygen. I'm the calm one, so my daughter usually looks at my face to know that everything's okay. So I stayed calm, but I knew that I had to find a way to get help. So I walked up the back of their house, and they have a little mountain area, and walked until I got a signal. And when I got a signal, the first person I called was my sister. 911 was not working.
Right.
So I got a hold of my sister in Florida, and I was able to get to her and tell her, we're dire, we need help. And she said, we're gonna make it happen.
And you said it was like out of a movie. You said you look up and these men in black shirts and army pants come marching over the...
Yeah, I didn't even know how to react, or everybody said, did you get a video? I said, no, I didn't get a video, I just sat there. It looked like something from a movie. And they just took over and they said, we're here, we got you. And I was able to just take a nice sigh and knew that help was there.
That's what I meant when I kept saying over and over, this is America at its best. And Lisa's daughter has a message for this group also.
Hi guys, so sorry we couldn't be there, but we sent Grandma.
Thank you so much for saving our baby boy Mason.
We would love to invite you to Mason's first birthday next year in Disney in September.
And we look forward to seeing you there.
Going to Disneyland.
It's got to feel good to get a catch up and see that everything you went through has come to a happy ending.
Yeah, we even have Zeb right over here too in the audience.
He donated his helicopter, his time, his pilot. For a full week, he's offered for John and I to go back next week and do some more work.
Zeb, stand up if you would. Let's give Zeb a hand. So we actually have a birthday invitation here for Mason's first birthday party. And this is helicopter themed, of course.
Oh, wow. I love it.
That's you.
Yeah, that's you, definitely.
Yeah,
Maybe that'll be Mason
you
someday.
gotta shave.
This network didn't get named Merit by accident. It's actually working hard, helping, and paying it all forward. And that's how this country got to be where it is. That's how it's going to stay where it is. And you guys are the best example of that I've seen. So God bless you and
Thank you very much.
All right, coming up.